gaming PC just came in the shop because when you go to turn the system on, you get power but no display out. Like despite us having display plugged in and the system sitting for a while, we still get absolutely nothing. So what's going on here? Well, just about anytime your system turns on but gets no display out, it's a pretty clear sign your system's failing to post, which is the power on self-test that your motherboard runs on every single startup to check the health and compatibility of all your hardware, including your CPU, GPU, RAM, and storage devices. But if one of them fails that test, your system will typically hang with no display out, letting you know there's something wrong. But how do you fix a post error? Well, you gotta first identify what component's holding up the system, and the easiest way to do that on modern motherboards is to look for diagnostic LEDs. As most of the time, they'll tell you exactly what's wrong. See, most motherboards these days come with 4 LEDs, CPU, DRAM, VGA, and boot. And although they can be used for a couple different things, their primary purpose is to identify post issues, as that order actually happens to be your motherboard's post order, and these lights are typically designed to light up in sequence, going from CPU to DRAM to VGA to boot. And if one of your components is bad, you'll see one of two things. Either your system will freeze on one of those LEDs, or in the case of this system here, we'll actually see the LED cycle. It'll actually go from the CPU to the DRAM LED, and then hold there for a little while, go back to CPU and back to DRAM again. So what exactly does that mean? Because it's not hanging on one particular LED. Well, that restart cycle that we're seeing, actually the post sequence restarting because it's likely running into a fault with our RAM modules, or possibly our memory controller. But I'm pretty certain it's just a RAM modules. And if you're thinking it has something to do with these mismatched modules, well, these modules are DDR4. Honestly, didn't care nearly as much as DDR5 about mixing and matching. So then what gives? So inspecting these modules, I noticed something. First up, the modules look perfectly mounted on the bottom side, and they did light up. But when we go to the top and you look at the clips that actually are holding them in, those last two modules look just fine. But the first module, yeah, that's not snapped in right. On the side, that module is clearly not seated properly. So I bet snap this module in so it's actually installed all the way. So to turn the system on now, we actually go past that DRAM LED and momentarily get a display, but then it goes black. Well, this is exactly what our customer was telling us that happened, that after he tried to enable secure boot, the system went black and never came back. And this RAM module may have just came loose when he was trying to fix it. It goes with this PCIe power cable, but even with that fixed, even though the system does post, well, we get no display after that. So what's causing this? Well, we know secure boot was enabled when this all started, so let's go ahead and turn the system back on, but press delete to go ahead and enter the BIOS. In here to go ahead and navigate over to the secure boot settings, we're gonna go to settings, click on security, and go down to secure boot, which we'll see is enabled, which if we just simply disable, then restart our PC, system loads right into Windows.